Hey, we're live now. Just jumping straight into it. I'm here,
Live, baby.
Unlucky Charms podcast number 7. Who do we have here today? You want to introduce yourself? That's a sick shirt, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
gotta cop me one of those. Oh, and the hat. Didn't even see that.
These shirts are unavailable now, but I might be able to
Yeah,
make an exception for you.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm just a regular schmegular guy. I go by Save. I appreciate you having me on, and I'm just, I'm just a guy that does stuff on the internet sometimes.
So, do you mostly Oh, hold on. I have to get into this first. What color decks do you run in Magic? I've asked you 3 times and I've gotten ignored each time.
Yeah, well, I don't want to give away my secrets. I run a lot of like blue green,
Blue,
white
green,
green, white blue.
white,
I gotta
blue.
have some blue splash in there somehow. But yeah, I do
Blue
play
is
Magic the
like
Gathering. I do play Magic the
I
Gathering.
I'll admit I haven't played since like right after graduating high school, but I was running the Mardu Khan deck when I had it, and red, white, black seems to be a good mix for me. I do not get along with blues, dude. Keep
Of
those
course you don't.
blues. I can't. The counter spell, and it's like
Counter every
counter.
time.
I
Counter,
can't. I
counter.
don't. I like to enjoy the games I play, man.
And I like to just make sure that you can't fucking hurt me. So I'm a masochist in the same. I mean, I feel like people that play red are masochists. Like, why would you want to hurt yourself while
I
dealing me
like
damage?
the I like the token decks is mostly what I was doing. It was just like a bunch of like 1-1, and then like if I didn't win early game, it
Play
wasn't
green
happening.
black. Green black will get you a lot of fucking tokens. But yeah,
Black is pretty
if you
cool.
if you want to get back into Magic, definitely I would definitely recommend Magic, the Gathering Arena.
I have been so right now I'm actually playing Pokemon with my son. I got him into that. Me and my best friend, we have kids that are only 6 months apart, and like we were all just together at our local what do you call it, the flea market, and he was like, "I want some Pokemon cards." And I have you ever seen have you ever seen Malcolm in the Middle, where he's like, if you go down this path, like it just like zooms in on him. He's like, if you go down this path, he's like, there's no turning back, and he's like, we were just standing in the middle of the flea market, and like we looked at each other and we're like I'll get you some Pokemon cards, but we're committing to this. And it's been about a year, and dude, he plays competitively online now.
Oh hell yeah! No, it's
Yeah, he's
huge. It's huge online.
we play the app. I think it's just called Pokemon TCG.
Yeah,
But
I used to play. I used to play it for a little while.
I I I've had friends that keep telling me to get back into Magic, get into Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't have the money for multiple hobbies like that. We're gonna stick to Pokemon right now.
No, I'm
And he
telling
is
you, if you do Magic the Gathering Arena, it's all online. You can download it on your phone. You don't have to spend any money. You can just play with the basic decks that they have. And then they do like a reward system. So the more you win, they give you packs of the new sets. When the new sets come out, they give you like 6 to 8 new packs that you can open like digitally. It's wonderful. You don't have to spend any fucking money.
I
You
haven't
can
spent any
spend
money
money
on
if
the.
you want.
Oh, we do collect the Pokemon cards. I wish I should have had them ready, dude. We go to the flea market, bro, about once a Sunday or once a week, and dude, there's this one guy who has all of his cards out, and it takes me an hour and a half. I'll sift through every single common card he has, and that's how I do most of our deck building.
Yeah, I was big into like keeping sealed stuff. I had a
Mm,
bunch of like the ETB boxes sealed. I went through some rough times though, so I had to get rid of a lot of shit. But I still have
mm,
like I still have a bunch of like sealed packs, and because I wish my mom would have kept sealed packs for us of like
yeah.
starter booster packs. Uh, but now I just have them put away for when my son is older, and I'm like, here, like if you want to open these, you can open them because they're nostalgic. But if you want to keep them and sell them, they're sealed booster packs. You can have them. Whatever you want to do with them, do with them. Like I wish you would know what the new trend is gonna be, so you could like keep the sealed shit. So
Mm.
now just like random shit that like there's squishmallows that come in like packs that I have sealed ones of. So when he gets older, maybe they're worth some money. I don't fucking know. But yeah,
I'm
definitely
not.
Pokemon.
Yeah, he does. He does like the collecting part. But like sometimes just the common cards are like, if it's a Pokemon he likes, or if it's done in like a specific art style, that card could be like worth 10 cents. But like we have it in a sleeve and a binder
Oh
because they're
yeah,
like his favorite
look,
Pokemon.
the Team Rocket booster packs, the Charmander that came
Oh
in those
yeah.
packs, that's the best Charmander art I've ever seen in my life. I love that.
Oh no, dude! I wish I could pull this up on my screen right now. One of my favorite. I we love when they do Pokemon like pets, and they got this one where it's like a Charmander with his like face against the window in this dude's house watching these Pidgeys outside, and like that's my favorite Charmander card. I might just send that one to you. Off
I didn't know that
screen,
you like Charmander so much.
dude. I kill for Charmander.
Yeah, I'm a
This is
huge Charmander fan.
This one, this was my Christmas present from my best friend that I was telling you about, the Charizard. My dad bought this when I was like 3, and now my son sleeps with this. And then these were just ones I collected, like I just found on the road. Each time I went on the road, I'd get him a little gift. And dude, I have a deck in Pokemon TCG called Oops All Charizards, and people quit. I'll be like doing my rounds, and people will quit before I've even finished.
Yeah, that's wild.
I love stuff like that.
It's funny because I have a Charmander shrine in my room too. It's actually what's actually even funnier is so I used to stream video games for a living, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
And like this trend start. Oh yeah, that's dope.
This is it's not anything special. I got it for like $5 online, but it is I just love this.
Yeah, that's
it's the closest dope. It's closest to that I'm ever gonna have again. So
yeah, man, there was like a segment of my streams that it was like an ongoing joke. Like one day I got really fucking mad and I bit Charmander in like my Charmander plushie in the ass. And people just like were like, "Oh, eat Charmander's ass." So people would like pay me to eat Charmander's ass live on the internet. It just like became a thing. There's so many clips of me doing it. It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, I have a whole
living my dream, bro.
Eating Charmander's ass.
Yeah, I guess so. Getting paid to do it.
I have a whole shrine dedicated to Charmander in my room. I love Charmander. He's my favorite Pokemon of all time.
Charmander. I get called the Gen 1er a lot. I admit I fell off about after Emerald, I want to say. Whenever they stopped being like, whenever it got to the DS, like I just fell out of it. I was like, oh, it's a little too.
Oh yeah, I don't know shit. I don't know shit about.
I don't either.
Gens. Like maybe Gen 2 is like my top, but yeah, Gen 1 is. You could ask me any fucking Pokemon, I'll probably know it.
I'm up to. I'm relearning so that I can. Dude, I used to collect the cards as a kid. My dad used to buy the packs for me, and I just wouldn't do anything with them. None of my friends wanted to play. I didn't like talk to too many people. Yu-Gi-Oh was cool. I got into Magic as a like teenager to adult. And
wait, how old are you?
I'm 28.
Oh, okay, just a little bit younger than I am. Not too much younger. Yeah, I used to play Pokemon competitively, and like back in the day when Wizards of the Coast was still around, we used to go to like this back room in Wizards of the Coast, and like every week they would give you like a new badge, so you could get all 8 badges as long as you made your rounds and played well. Yeah, it was a good time. Pokemon at its peak was the best.
I would have loved that, dude. Now it's like there's a lot to know, bro. There's like a lot to keep up with, and he's 8 years old, so I don't expect him to pick any of it up. So I'm the one who has to learn it all.
Yeah.
And 2 of my favorite things that have come from it. Our first one isn't even like the battling part. He loves when we pretend Pokemon are real, but not for battling. He'd be like, "What would you do if I had a Blastoise?" I'd be like, "I'd have him wash my car." Like, what do you mean? I'd never pay for a car wash again.
Yeah, that's dope.
I was trying to get him to like be all dressed up in my stuff, but he looks like no daughter of mine is dating a Squirtle. So I'm gonna push him off to the side.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, especially that you're into it with your kid. Like my son was starting to get there, but he doesn't understand the concept of cards yet. You know what I mean? He's only 6, so I'm waiting until he gets a little bit older, and then maybe he could do. Like I do want to teach him how to play Magic the Gathering because I think Magic the Gathering, like it's not huge anymore like it used to be, but still the concept of it is absolutely amazing. The math in it is great, and it's basically chess with cards. I think it's better than chess with cards. Uh, yeah, I started playing Magic the Gathering when I was 12, and I'm 32. So like I fell off for a long, long while. I used to play competitively. I used to have I still have a shit ton of cards in my closet. But yeah, I mean, once he's like maybe 10 or 11, maybe I'll bring the cards out and show him, and we'll play. But as of right now, like TCGs just aren't. They're not like my thing anymore. I wish they were. I love trading cards. I love being a nerd and doing that type of shit. But
Mhm.
it's just not as big as it used to. And the thing that sucks is I know we were talking about it in the green room earlier about how technology is just a fucking bitch because now everybody plays online. I want to like
Mhm.
have an opponent in front. Like Friday Night Magic is my shit. Like go to a fucking a comic book store on a Friday night. Everybody drafts. It used to be a
Mhm.
big thing. I went to one a couple months ago and there was like maybe 8 or 10 people there, and I was like, this is kind of shitty.
I was gonna say, I think it's actually kind of. I'm not gonna say popular in our area because our area is just not populated to begin with. But I used to play. I want to say like 2021. I did used to go to the comic book shop and we would play uh, Magic, and I won semifinals like twice and then just never went again. But what I miss about the card, and you just kind of said it now, is I miss like the community
Yeah.
at the flea market this past weekend, this past Sunday. Um, they have this like they're like pushing this Charizard tin, and I was like, oh dude, I want that, and it comes with a special Charizard, and I already have two versions of it, and I was like, how much is it? And he's like $40, but it only comes with 4 packs, so you're basically paying for the tin, and I'm like, dude, I'll find it online one day, but this guy comes in, and I'm with my son, and he's like, oh, I want the Charizard tin, and the guy who owns the shop was like, oh, if somebody comes in and like doesn't want the tin, like I'll get him to give it to you or something like that. And that's what he did. Is the guy ended up? He's like $5. I'll give you the tin and I'll keep everything inside of it. And I was like, yeah, that's super cool. I'm gonna like use that as my deck box now. And then with that $5, he had my son pick out like a booster pack, and then just gave it to him. So he basically like lost out on. I got to keep the tin.
And you
Uh,
got the booster
with the
pack.
and with the money I gave him, he bought my son a pack, and I was like, that's the kind of stuff like I miss, like, and I
Yeah, that's
missed
the
a lot of
community.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
bro.
I don't. I talk about Corpse, or I talk to Corpse about that a lot because he has that with dance, and I'm like, bro, like I miss a community with something,
Well, that's the
and
thing is like we're lacking that now. You know what I mean? Like, um, and the good thing is like there's still people that because you miss it, you try and like embed that like in your kids, right? Like we were
mhm,
at Legoland on Sunday for my son's birthday,
mhm,
and my son likes to play carnival games, and we were with another young lady and her child, and um my son just wanted to play the game, but they gave him like a little plushie toy after.
mhm.
And so he was like took the plushie and just gave it to the other kid and was like, "Here you go, you can have this." And
The
I was like,
$40 you
"Damn."
just spent on them.
Yeah, I was like 15 fucking bucks for him to pick three ducks and shit. But like I was like, that's cool, like I'm glad to see that be carried on. I was like, if you can keep that, then you can create a community doing like, oh, I just want to
Mhm.
do this. You can have whatever prize comes with it, or you know what I mean. Like that type of shit is cool to me.
I love stuff like that, and I never really thought about it until now, and I guess I just kind of hope that my son doesn't miss out on it as well.
Well, you
Because
got to create that for him, I think. I mean, or
yeah,
start trying
no,
to
for
create that.
sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
We
I think
we
that.
kind. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
We kind of did that with the cards. We got my friends who don't have kids to start buying cards again so that they could come over and play. And he plays like. At first, I was like, oh, it's cool of them to lose against my 7-year-old son at the time. But we got him to download the app now, and now we'll be like side by side, just like playing competitively, and he gets up there, dude. So it's my decks, like I make them still, but he's just now like oh, like, is this a good combination? I'm like, try it, buddy. Like, run it, see what
Yeah,
happens.
hell yeah, fail a couple times and then see how it goes. You know what I mean? Let their
That's
brains work and shit.
that's some of my favorite stuff though. Is he's like he'll make a deck and then he'll be like, "Can you come look it over?" And I'll be like, "Of course, buddy."
Yeah, no, that's a sick ass fucking feeling, bro.
I love that because
Man, it's
eventually
gonna
he's gonna get smart enough to make these decks without me. He's gonna start making decks better than mine.
yeah, he's gonna beat your ass, bro.
He kind of does already.
He's
It's
gonna beat
kind
your
of
fucking
a.
ass.
I actually kind of turned this into like a little like these are all like the ETB, the Elite Trainer boxes.
Yeah,
Each
yeah, I
one of the
saw
I don't
that.
know if you. These
Yeah, I
are
saw
all
that
like,
earlier.
and then I'll kind of pan it around. It's not done yet, but those are all the giant cards.
Yeah,
And then if you look up, they're more ETBs, but I got the boxes going, or with the cards.
that's funny. Like majority of those ETBs that you're showing, I have them sealed.
Yeah, I know. We're not. I'm not a collector like that, you know. Um, Everything's got to kind of have a function with me. Like if it's not serving a purpose other than like looking cool, like I had to throw away the rest of them. I got like this side's not done yet either, but he wants specific ones. These are the little booklets that come with it, like the cover, the player guides.
Yep.
There's just the cover of them, and then I ripped the binding out to get those out, so the rest of them had to be thrown away.
See that
So
shit? That shit, honestly, that shit hurts my soul, bro. Seeing that shit.
Oh, I believe it. No, I believe it. I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for that, but this is like his little corner, though, you know.
Yeah, no, but like I was just talking to a buddy. I was just talking to Zero about this recently. It's like
Shout
I'm a
out Zero.
collector. I'm a collector when it comes to shit. So like Funko Pops, I don't take them out of the fucking casing. I was gifted a Wraith from Apex Funko Pop. That's the only one that I took out of the box, and it's because it was in my PC for a long time. But every other Funko Pop sealed. All my fucking Pokemon cards that I really got. If I wanted to open the ETB box, I would buy two of them. So I, had like the one that I would open and the one that I had. Yeah, I like sealed shit. I'm weird like
Yeah,
that.
I'm like the exact opposite, bro. And it probably would have done me a lot better, dude. I used to like to collect like basically what were Tamagotchis, but of like our favorite IPs growing up. Like I had all the Mega Man PETs. I had up to like a certain generation. I had like every Digivice, and I went home. I went to my dad's house for like a summer, and I got a text like, "Oh, we gave all that stuff to your cousins," and
Oh.
and now I find them on eBay for like $300 to $500 used, not even the like in the sealed one still. And I send it to my dad. And I'm like, "Oh, do you wish you still gave it away now?"
Do you have anything like that still that's like valuable that you know that you'll never give away?
Yes, but not from childhood. In the Marine Corps, when I started having money again, I started recollecting the Digivices and the PETs from Mega Man. But they were like they were the open ones. Yeah, they were like used, but they functioned.
The only thing that I still have, I mean, I still have like my Super Nintendo, I still have my Nintendo 64, I have a GameCube, but the only piece of technology that I still have is for a very short run, they made a television that had the original NES connected to it at the bottom. So you can put your NES games in it and like play like that. You connected the controllers to the television. I still have it, and it's at my dad's house, and they're going for like $1,800. And I'm like, I'll never give this thing away. Yeah, because my son plays it. Like if we go to my dad's house, my son will play the original Super Mario. He'll play the original Duck Hunt. I have the guns. I have like 4 different controllers that he can play, and to me, it's dope because my dad played those games with us when we were kids. So the fact that it comes like full circle and he can play them with my kid is amazing. Like he'll play Duck Hunt with my son. He'll play Super Mario with my son, and like it's a side scroller. So and there's only 2 buttons, so it's real easy for my son to play. Because I've tried to get I love video games, bro. I play video games played it for video games for a living for a little while, and I've always dreamt of like my kid playing video games with me, and I actually just talked about this today. But my son is into this shit right now, where he rather watch somebody play video games than play video games himself.
Dude, I remember when I had like just gotten on the road with Corpse, and I was like, because I knew I was gonna being on the road. Obviously, I was gonna be separated from my son. So I had gone back to visit him, and I was like, oh, if I started streaming video games, which is something I've always wanted to do anyway. I was like, anyway, he's something he's also very into. I was like, if I start streaming video games, will you watch it? He goes, probably not. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, his mom doesn't let me. His mom doesn't let him watch me play video games because I too much profanity. But you know, I mean, we watch it together because I like watching people like any art style that I do, whether that be dance or graffiti or playing video game, like streaming. I like to watch other people do that because I appreciate the element and it's fun to watch people be in that element and enjoy themselves. So I like sit there and watch. Like there's games that he watches now that I'm into because we're watching it together. But it's funny because I've also adopted a lot of shit from the things that my son loves sharks. He
I
fucking
love it.
that's like it, that's his number one thing, bro. If you ask my son about any shark, he could tell you he has pretty much every shark plushie you could think of, bro. Whether it be black tip, megalodon, great white, ghost shark, mega mouth. I mean, I could probably go on and on. Zebra shark, nurse shark, every fucking shark that exists, he probably has a plushie of it.
That Shark Week goes wild in your house.
Bro, he loves that shit. So we watch Feed and Grow Shark, which is a fucking game. We watch I don't so many different shark shit. But he also likes like My Singing Monsters. So I downloaded My Singing Monsters on my phone. I play that shit now. Plants vs Zombies, he likes. Started playing Plants vs Zombies because he likes that shit. You know what I mean? Like all these fucking games, Bug Snacks. There's so many different fucking games that he likes playing. But I'm trying to get him into this shit.
This is my buddy.
Oh
Shout
yeah,
out
I've seen the Angry
Capitalist.
Capitalist. Yeah, well, on
Yeah,
your
he's
live stream,
funny.
I've seen him before.
No, he's
But no,
yeah. He's funny.
that's the perfect thing about card games. And here's the other things with what he's saying, right? With like failing and adapting and doing that shit.
Mhm.
You know, my son plays baseball. Saturday is opening day for baseball for him this year, and he's finally like not in t-ball. But the thing with my son is, like I'm kind of an old school parent. So when it comes to discipline and those types of shit, I'm very old school when it comes to that. And in my house and in his mom's house, there's no such thing as a participation trophy, and he knows that. You know what I mean? Like you win or you lose. So what are we gonna do to win? And that's what like card games show you at a very young age is like there's got to be a winner and there's got to be a loser. And especially in card games, it's like you got to be able to figure out how to put together what and think of every angle, especially in Magic the Gathering, right? Like there's
Oh
certain sets
yeah.
that come out that are standard right now. So if you're going to a standard league and you know that you're going to compete against people that are in standard, you have to know every card that's going to come out. You got to be able to know how to counter it. You got to be able to know how to beat them before they're able to bring out a certain card. Those that type of shit, and it's mathematical too. And I grew up a very mathematic kid, so that's why I love Magic the Gathering so fucking much because there's so many elements that go into it. And as a kid, I learned how to lose, and I'm not a good loser. I fucking hate losing. I'm not a bad loser, but I'm not a good one, and I hate losing. So that's why I think kids should. I think more kids should be into those types of card games at an early age than not because it teaches you a lot about a lot of things.
I like Pokemon because it's so simple. There's only so much you can do. So when I make a good combo deck, like if your deck's not prepared for that, like dude, it's you can on TCG Pokemon TCG they give you like 6 to 8 pre-made decks, and I see people online in competitively with like very little alterations to them, and like dude, when I finally because I started playing competitively with Magic, so I adopt a lot of those ideas into my Pokemon decks as best as I can. And that's also kind of why we're shying away from Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic, is like they can just be so broken. I think Yu-Gi-Oh specifically has like so many ways like that the opening turn could just end the game.
Oh yeah. So I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh. My brother was very into Yu-Gi-Oh. I never watched the show. I was never really into the cards.
I like the show. The show was pretty good. The manga was
really
crazy, dude.
But I have like obviously because I like TCGs, like my TikTok or my Instagram will be full of TCG shit. And I've seen it like, oh, first round ender on Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's just like this and this and this. Like, that's not fun. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in competition, like in every type of competition that there is, whether it be sports or the Olympics or TCGs or video games, like I feel like both players have to have a some type of counter for it. You know what I mean? Like you have to give the other person the ability to stop whatever you're doing at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But once you give them the opportunity, if they can't stop that, then fuck them, dog. Like beat the fuck. Okay, here's a perfect example, right? And let me ask you this. So I was talking to Zero the other day, and he watches a show called I think it's not Kitchen Nightmares. It's Next Level Chef. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah.
And so the concept of the show is that there's 3 tiers, and the best chef is at the top, and then the mid-level chef and the bottom chef, and then what they do is they drop supplies and ingredients and shit like that, right? So what he asked me was, he was like, do you think that he was like, I was watching the episode, and I might get this wrong, and if Zero's watching, correct me. I apologize. But what he was saying was, do I think it's fair that there was a dude that was above another chef, and he took the ingredients that he knew that she could beat her with, and then he fucked up the recipe, and they both went to the chopping block. And he was like, I thought that was kind of whack because, like, you know, he could have done his own dish and been better, but he took something that he knew she was good at. And I was like, yeah, that's competition. That's you risked something because you knew she could beat you at it. You risked fucking that dish up, which you did. Like sometimes, like the point that I'm trying to make is that sometimes with competition, like you got to make a risk. Like if there's no risk, there's no reward at all. You know what I mean? So like, whether if you fuck up, at least you took the risk because you could have won the whole shit just by doing that.
I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I don't like games that lead. I don't like games that lead up to that leave it up to chance. I like games that like chess. Even if I suck at chess, I have way more fun with chess than I do something where it's like kind of randomized or like takes no skill, like Uno. There's a little bit of strategy to Uno, but not enough for it to be a skill-based game. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. Jenga, not skill-based. Uno, not skill-based. Monopoly, not skill-based.
And what I do like about skill-based games is there's like a little bit of psychology in there. And you're kind of like, it kind of lets me know you a little better based off what you picked and why. Like, basically in Pokemon, all the elements, all they basically do, the elements, but basically the typings, they don't have that many different abilities. Like fire does a lot of damage, but it also burns like the most energies. So I like the raw, like, dude, I have a screenshot of like one of my Charizard cards doing like 600 damage in one attack, and that was not the only time I attacked with it. So I take like screenshots of like me and my son. We have like if we break 1,000 damage in the game, we'll like screenshot it and send it to each other. Like those are our little trophies. And then I have I remember one time with my Oops All Charizard deck, which is supposed to be a deck mostly made out of Charizards. I had one without using Charizard at all. He was on the bench, and I had him because I don't like losing either. So I had him on the bench ready to go, But there was a moment where I was like, oh, I'm going to win this game without relying on Charizard. So I did that and I screenshot it. And like, just looking at that screenshot, like no one's going to be able to know that's what happened in that deck. But like, I remember that one, and that's like a little trophy for me. And there's a lot of like skill, decisions. Dude, it's like, I love stuff like that. I prefer
That's what I'm
stuff
saying.
like that.
That's why I said TCGs. To me, I like chess. I'm not very good at it.
I'm not very good at it, but I like it too.
Suck at chess. But that's why I like TCGs a little bit more, because they are very much so like chess, but with a little more action in between, or like a little more this and a little more
And
flair.
they're personalized. They're personalized, which is what I really like.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I know it's your podcast. I'm over here asking you questions.
Go for it.
But you said the psychology behind it. Like, did you study psychology at all?
No, I just have a thing for girls who get majors in psychology, I guess.
What about guys that have a major in psychology?
We're not there yet, but when we hit 50, maybe I'll flip it. That's a Louis C.K. joke. I can't even finish that one. We're living half your life. Maybe I'll do it gay the second half.
No, the reason I asked is because I actually went to school for psychology.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah. No, fucking come over then.
But
I'll
I never got my degree in it. And I've always wanted to get my degree in psychology. The unfortunate part is I never finished high school. So a lot of like online universities and shit like that, they won't accept me until I show them a diploma or a GED to get my psychology degree. But yeah, psychology is like my dream. Like I want a psychology major, and that's like the number. I'll feel great once I get a psychology major.
I want one, and there was a time where I considered it. It's a lot of schooling for a lot of not like, dude, it's like there's not a lot of career options.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Zero, text me real quick. Hold on. Zero, text me based off the conversation that we were having.
Yeah,
he said, you shouldn't fuck yourself for the sake of fucking someone else in the hopes to win a competition. That's what 100% I meant by the next level chef.
That's 100% what you should do. That's the risk.
I agree with that statement. I agree with the statement.
That's the psychology in that, is you didn't have enough faith in your own whatever creation that was, that you felt sabotaging was your best move. If you had complete faith in whatever cake or whatever, I didn't see it, so I don't know what you're talking about, but whatever dish he was supposed to make obviously wasn't good enough, that he felt the need to sabotage instead.
No, and I agree. And I truly believe that sabotage is part of competition.
Definitely. But that's the psychology part of you didn't have enough faith in your own product, deck, dish, that you didn't think. I think I watched it on whatever Gordon Ramsay show is, where the girl was like, oh, I made this dish, but I don't have enough butter. And she went to the girl behind her and she's like, oh, can I borrow your stick of butter? And she just deadpanned, went right back to her own dish. And some dude was like, and just threw her the butter. And he's like, you almost just lost out on the prize money for it. And he's like, my dish is going to be, and he won that round too. But he's like, my dish was good enough. You know, he had faith. And he's like, and if I don't, I'm going home knowing I wasn't the guy who denied her butter.
That's my point. Why not win on your own shit instead of fucking someone else? You're not good enough, bro. Be mad and stay mad. That's what competition is. You know
that last part felt personal.
so the before we go into psychology, the analogy that I made in that was like soccer players, right? We'll talk about soccer players. If you go in if there's an attacker that keeps fucking shooting on the goal, and you know you're a midfielder or defense, and this attacker just keeps fucking you, you're gonna go in for a slide tackle on this fucking attacker, and you know there's gonna be a part of you that hopes to take out their fucking legs. You know what I mean? And you'll get a penalty for it. Same thing like when you're in baseball and there's somebody that's on a hot streak, keep hitting home runs. The pitcher's gonna hit him with the ball and walk him because you'd rather take the chance on the next person than them hitting a home run. Like that, to me, that's just part of sports. That's just the way it works. You know what I mean? Like, and the other analogy that I was using with him is like okay, in football, you have linemen who defend your fucking quarterback, and you have the defensive linemen who are trying to hurt the quarterback. If your offensive linemen suck and the defensive lineman gets to him and tackle him, and maybe they break his collarbone, maybe they fuck up his throwing hand, like that. Now you have the upper hand. Like that's just how the upper hand comes in competition. And if you can fuck somebody out of that, take the quarterback out, take the attacker out in soccer, fucking, walk the fucking the hitter in baseball. Like that's why those things are in place, because sabotage is part of competition. Unfortunately, it is. So I get where he's coming from, and I get like you should win based off of the merit of how good you are in certain things, but sometimes you just got to play the game.
I see what he's saying more now. I get that. I get both sides. It is a bummer when you lose on a technicality, but if you're not like the goat of what you're doing, I get both sides of it.
It is love. It is love, Zero. It is love. It's funny. I just saw the fucking bubbles pop up. No, I get what he's saying. Like, I understand what he's saying, and to a point, I agree with what he's saying. Like, win on your own terms. Win doing what the fuck you're good at. But sabotage is part of the game sometimes. Like that, like you got to be ready for that shit. You know what I mean? If you know that you're not, we'll just take it back to the next level chef thing. If you know you're not at the top of this fucking thing, and you're gonna get first choice at whatever fucking ingredients that you need, you be ready for that. You know that somebody could sabotage you, and be ready with the next dish. You know what I mean? That's what it is. The other analogy that I made with them is like, say we were on Ink Master, right? And say it was me, you, and I know that you suck at fucking, or that all you do is colored cartoon style tattoos, and it's my turn to pick who gets what style. Oh, I'm giving you black and gray realistic all day, because I know you can't. Not that you can't do it, but that's not your forte. You're not good at it. I'm fucking you, dog. Fuck you. I need you out of the competition. How can I do that? By giving you something that you're not good at. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes.
I think there's a good ranked and non-ranked too. Like that shouldn't fall in just like casual,
Oh yeah, for sure.
But ranked is, dude, I don't like losing. What do they say in Pursuit of Happiness? You gotta hate losing more than you love winning, and I hate to lose. I heard that at 14, and that changed my life, bro. I think, oh, well, there goes my bottle opener. Dude, it's starting to rub off on my son a little bit, too, to be completely honest. He's like, oh, I really won that game without you attacking? I'm like, dude, I have 17 cards in my hand. Like, you don't think I could have ended this game way earlier?
Yeah, or I don't have a fucking energy, or I don't have this.
He says that. Because sometimes, so my decks are built around gimmicks.
Keep talking, though. I'm going to take a piss, but keep talking.
Oh, yeah, I think. I have to pee, too. I'm going to. He's a sore, for everyone else listening, he's a sore winner and a sore loser, and it's something we're working on, because I want to wait for him to come back, because I want him to say some of this stuff too. So I can hear you now. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Dude, if he starts to lose, he gets upset, and then if he wins, he's like, too easy. And I'm like, it wasn't easy, bro. I have half my deck in my hand. Like, I could have won a while ago. So what? And he wants to play competitively in person, and I'm like, these adults aren't going to show you mercy. Like, I need you to be tournament ready if you want me to take you to a tournament. Like, if you want to play casual, completely understandable. You're 8 years old. I get that. That's fine. But our newest thing is I will win the game, and then I'm going to take that attack back, and we're going to run it back to, I'm not going to win the game right now, and we're going to play it as if I fumbled it, as if I didn't have the energy for this, and we get him to win but I say like, oh, like this is how I would have done it, or here are the 3 ways I could have done it because I build my decks around gimmicks.
Do you?
But
Let me ask you this though, real quick. Do you let your son win?
so that was the thing is I used to keep him interested in the game. We don't play other kids. He doesn't have like he keeps his decks at my house. There's not a lot of opportunity for him to play. So I didn't want a 28-year-old man to be his own, like beating him down to be his only experience with this game.
Sure.
And then he started to be a little sore winner about things. So, and again, the tournament ready thing. So the thing I ran it back to, or the thing like we've come to, and this doesn't upset him at all, is I will win the game. I'll be like, oh, this will win the game if I did this, but I'm not gonna do it. And we're gonna see the things you can come up with to counter it, because that experience will still be useful going forward. Just winning back to back to back isn't gonna do much for him. He's not gonna learn.
See, I'm the complete opposite.
You just raw dog it, just straight. Like if I win, I win.
I win, bro. And if you want to, you asked me to play this game, so that means you're interested in it. So let's figure out how to get you better at this game, because that's just the type of parent I am, I guess. Like, I'm not letting you win. I'm not giving you the free, easy way out. If you want to, I'll show you how I won. I'll show you what I did. But I'm like, because to me, I hate gloaters. I hate people that are like, I got this. Like, we're not doing. Like, you won fair and square. You have that now. If you want to gloat, like, don't gloat in front of the people that you won against. You know what I mean? And that's what like, if my son won his baseball game, I tell him, great job, son. Now go out there and go make sure you shake everybody's hand. Good game, good game. You did a great job, all this shit. And then when we get in the car, fuck yeah. Like, you did that shit, motherfucker. Like, did you see how you did this shit? Like, let's gloat amongst each other and, like, have a good time. But you never gloat in front of the person that you won against. You know what I mean? That I think that's and that, like, that every magic game that I've won against or whatever, because it's always best of 3, right? If I win or lose, always shake hand. Hey, great job, great game, you did a great job, blah blah blah. If there's somebody like, that's just the way that life should be. You shouldn't be a sore winner, shouldn't be a sore loser. You know what I mean? If somebody did better than you, they deserve it more than you did, and that's why they fucking won. And if you won, you did better, but you don't need to be like, like, don't do that shit. I don't like that shit, bro.
Our newest thing is the Super Smash Brothers, and like the one for the Switch. And I do kind of hold back. Like, I let him kill me once or twice, or sometimes he just like, sometimes he'll win because I'll pick a bad character for the random map or something, and he'll be like, oh, I really won without losing damage. And I'll be like, or without losing a life or something like that. And I'll be like, all right, we're going to play it for real now. And he knows I'm absolutely not going to hold back. And dude, when we do those, I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was before, but he said something like that. Like, oh, I can't believe I won that one. And I was like, yeah. I was like, we're going to play for real this time?
Yeah, let me fuck you up real fast.
And it wasn't till his last life where he even damaged me once.
Yeah,
and I was like,
fuck him.
Yeah, like, only because he was talking crap that time.
But I mean, okay, so let me like revert a little bit back, because I think there should be shit talking in competition. Like, I think that's part of it, right? Like, if you're with your friends and you're playing a sport or playing video games or whatever, you should talk shit. I think that's part of the sport, like, whatever it is, whether it's baseball, football, video games, Magic the Gathering, like, talk a little bit of shit. But once you win, then don't be like, nah. Like,
yeah.
But shit talking is part of sport. And my perfect example of this is like boxing and UFC, right? I love watching the press conferences when they're like, "Oh, you skinny motherfucker! Like, you ain't about to hit me! Like, like one hit on the chin and I'm gonna fucking ruin your life!" This, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. And then they get in the octagon or they get in the boxing ring. They beat the fuck out of each other, and then at the end of it, they embrace each other, shake hands. Hey, great fight! Blah blah blah. Like, I love seeing that type of sportsmanship at the end of those types of things, because it's part of the sport. Like, you gotta try and get into somebody else's head and fuck them up a little bit, and then after, you're like, you know what, you did a great job, you trained hard, that's why you won. maybe we'll get it again. Maybe we'll do this for a round 2 or something. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. When you're in the ring, in the game, whatever, because that it really holds up to like, oh, like you're a great boxer, but you can't take like the crap talk actually gets to your head, like then like maybe you're just good at punching people.
Fuck yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so let me go back to what I was asking you about psychology. Um, I
Women
mean,
with
did you ever?
psychology degrees, DM
Yeah,
me.
did you ever? Did you like? Is there anything that you ever wanted to do with psychology?
I I like psychology because I feel like I'm not a very social person. I've never been, and I feel like by learning psychology, body language, uh, inferring what you meant from your tone versus what you actually said, like all that kind of stuff kind of helps me understand people in a way that like I must have just fucking skipped growing up the way everyone else did. And it's like a useful thing. I think it all started because I like true crime and horror and that kind of stuff. And
Hell
it's
yeah.
like I don't want to be a fucking true crime victim. I don't want to be a statistic. So it's like learning a bunch of that stuff was useful. And then you become an adult, and sales is body language. You can tell when someone's interested or when someone's not interested. Uh, Going to fucking bars and meeting women, like body language is super key. Like, or super key, super important. But it is my turn to pee. Do you think you can entertain? I can still hear you, but you're not going to be able to hear me. You
Yeah.
think you can run it for
I,
30 seconds?
I got you, bro. I got
Yeah,
you.
you only do this professionally.
I mean, I wouldn't say I do it professionally, but no, based off of what you're saying, like, no, I agree. But unfortunately, I don't think that. I mean, I wanted to ask you a question, but unfortunately, I feel like
I
that
can hear you.
base. It's like a ventriloquist throwing his fucking voice to the Bowser in the background. I feel like sometimes that, like, wanting to know psychology for those reasons, based off what you said with the childhood and like reading people to see if they're interested in you and this, that, and the other. Sometimes I feel like that could deter you away from actual relationships or deter you away from making friendships, and because you could think that it's one thing and not the other, or what it actually is. And I mean, I think psychology really revolves around human nature, but I think that there are anomalies that, like, you could be missing out on a friendship because you accidentally misread somebody based off of your psychology background. You know what I mean?
I
But I do agree with
agree.
you in the sales aspect of it. I've been in sales my whole life, and like sales is that's where I learned a lot of the psychology is based off sales. And like I said, I did take a psychology course, but I've met a lot of psychologists. I've been in therapy and shit like that. So I have an idea of how psychology works. But the only reason that I really wanted to reach out and do psychology, I always wanted to be a negotiator in the police force, but then I found out that you had to be a policeman to do that. So I was like, yeah, nah, I don't. Like, I don't want to be a policeman in order to become a negotiator. I just want to be like, oh, you're a great psychologist. Come be a negotiator for the police force. I didn't know you had to be a policeman for that.
So to answer your question, no, anything I kind of like for a passion, I don't want to put money on or a career because I feel like dude, like not just psychology, which also it can be super depressing if you go down that line of work.
Oh, absolutely.
Animals. I'm a big animal person. I don't want to be a vet. Like for the longest time, I thought I wanted to be a vet. But how many fucking dogs do you put down, bro? How many cats do you put down? I am not. It's not for me. I'm not. I'm not that guy. I found my limits, and that's it apparently. And like I feel like I don't. I feel like a lot of things don't bother me or get to me, but like uh, things I'm not gonna say on camera, but like kids in not good areas. Like I don't. I would love to help, but dude, I feel like I'm not. I don't think I have the mind space for that kind of stuff. I feel like there's people better equipped for it, and I
Yeah,
feel
and
like
knowing people in like the medical field and shit like that, they think they can do it until they can't. And
that
that's
too. And
that's
you don't know until you're under the in the hot seat.
yeah. Yeah, you know,
And you
and
can
it's
go
a
through
real
all
thing.
the training, you can go through all of the practice, you can do all the runs, and then the first time you got to go do CPR on a baby or put down a dog, you're like, oh, this isn't for me.
Yeah. You got to really learn how to you got to really understand how life works and really understand that, you know, some things are not in your control. Understand that you know, you're probably going to help more people than see people pass, or help more dogs than you're going to see pass. Like
I
there's a lot
think
of separation when it comes to that type of shit.
I think what really like cemented it for me is when I was like 2021, I took a security job, and I was at a hospital, and dude, like they become so desensitized that it's like, oh, these are the people caring for you. I'm putting my life in your hands. I remember being in the ER and this woman was like, "Oh, I'm taking tomorrow off because it's my dad's funeral or something like that." I think that's exactly what it was. I'm taking tomorrow off because it's my dad's funeral. And her boss was like, "Why? He's going to be dead tomorrow too." Was his exact response, just like that. He's like, "We need you tomorrow," and he's like, "Your dad's still going to be dead tomorrow." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm good."
Yeah, fuck that. But
That's
I mean,
it's
you have a lot of history. I would say that you have a lot of history with like that type of like dark shit, right? With being in the military, you lose a lot of people, and because all my friends are military. I have a group of 6 friends. 5 of them were military, and like I know the background, I know the history, I know how it works with you guys.
there's
You know what I mean?
there's a
It's morbid.
separation though. There's a separation though where it's like I didn't really know that guy, or this is just a job. When it starts being like more personal, like it's like it's more personal. There's not a lot of things you can do against that. It either
Well,
bother
that's the
you or
thing. That's the thing that I feel like when you go into those fields, like say military or nurse, doctor, veterinarian, like you have to really be like, well, I didn't really know that person. You know what I mean? It's just a job. It's just my job.
I feel like because it's kids and animals, like things that can't, or people and animals that can't really like defend themselves is what really does get me. Where it's like, okay, there isn't really like a rationale to this. It's just like a sad fucking situation. And
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of keeps me away from those things, even though those are like some of my biggest interests. I love psychology. I love animal sanctuaries. I love zoos. I love liquid zoos. I guess people call them aquariums, but I love liquid zoos.
I was like, what the fuck is a liquid? All right, so let me
And
okay, so let me ask you this. So you had me on today. I'm assuming there. I know we got into like the TCG thing real heavy, and I know we got into psychology. I'm assuming you had like one or two things that you were like had in your notebook or on the list of things that you wanted to chat about. I know TCG was one of them, and I don't want to stray too far away from what you wanted to do because, like I said, I'm a guest on this shit, so I'm gonna let you do
run
your
it, bro.
hosting. I'm gonna let you do your hosting.
You have like 49 more episodes than I do, so I will take your experience in any way you want to give it, brother.
Yeah, but I got 2 other fucking dickheads that do it with me, so you know what I mean. Like, it's not just me. It's not just my show. You know what I mean. I'm definitely a co-host in the situation. So, was there anything that you wanted to chat about that you really wanted to bring up? Was there anything that you were like interested in knowing or doing?
So part of it was I didn't mean to run with the TCG for as long as we did, but we got into like a lot of good
Oh, you
topics
got
about
me good.
that.
You got me good with that one. I went from 6 to midnight real fast.
um, my follow up was kind of just like, what's like being a dad, like trying to juggle all of these things, trying to juggle because you work full time, right? Like you're not
Yeah.
exclusively a podcaster. You don't stream games, and
No,
it pays your rent, right? Like it's
man, it's
Corpse and I were talking about doing an episode just about this topic, and we
yeah.
kind
I
of
mean,
wanted everybody being a dad, being a parent is rough. and then no, oh god, there's a lot to it. I finished. I'm sorry. I asked you a question and then immediately started
No,
answering.
you're good. You're good. You're good. It's been. I mean, the easiest way to put it is it's been the hardest thing, but the most rewarding thing in my life. And I would say the hardest part about it, right, is now sacrificing myself and my happiness in order to bring happiness and joy to somebody else, right? And the perfect way that I can explain it is that before, before I had my child, I had a great job. I was doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do and just spending money like it was water, and spending adult money the way that I wanted to spend adult money. If I wanted to buy a $4,000 PC, I could go buy a $4,000 PC. If I wanted to fucking go to Vegas and spend 10 grand in a weekend, I would go spend 10 grand in a weekend in Vegas. But I knew that my hard work is what paid for all of that. And if I could just work more, then I would make more money, and then I could go spend more money. Whereas now, coming from the field that I was in, which is car sales, I spent so much fucking time because I wanted to make more fucking money. So after COVID hit and my son was a couple years old, 2 years old, 3 years old, I realized that going back to that was not something that I was able to do because COVID allowed me to spend so much time with him. So if I went back to that industry, and he would have more toys, he would have a better place to live maybe when he came and stayed with me, but he wouldn't have the time that we spent together. And I knew that would crush him. And whenever my son's mom messages me and is like, "Oh, your son misses you today," or he was really sad that he didn't see you for the last 2 days. Like, imagine if that was 6 days. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if he didn't see me for 6 days, or like it was 4th of July, I didn't get to go watch the fireworks with him, or if it was Easter and I didn't get to hide his Easter eggs for him. Like that type of shit. I told myself I don't want to go through that again. I've already gone through that with my friends, my nephews, my nieces, my family. I can't do that to my son. Plus, the background on that is that like I never got to see my father growing up for those types of shits. So it's like, I know how that makes me feel as an adult, and I don't want that for my son growing up. So if I gotta make less money and live in a smaller place, or not go to Vegas as much, or not do fun shit, then so be it. Like, I'll do that for the sake of my son's happiness. And man, when I tell you I have the most intelligent, genuine, caring, loving, uh, you know, son I or child that I've ever met in my life. And granted, we're all biased as fathers, right? Like, we believe that. But when I have multiple people that have met my son tell me like, man, he's so polite. Man, he's a great kid. Man, I've never met a kid like him. The kid doesn't even like fucking being on the iPad because he wants to play with actual toys or use his imagination. Then it's a reflection of the decisions that I've made, and I think to myself like, man, like, you're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? You're doing the right thing, and you're where you're supposed to be at. So granted, I don't make money. Granted, I'm fucking struggling and doing what the fuck I'm doing. But at the end of the day, as long as my son is happy, I brought him into this world. I got to make sure that he's doing great while he's here. You know what I mean? So it's hard to struggle it. My streaming career has gone down the drain. The podcast is really all I do now. I used to stream 5 to 6 times a week. I had a whole community of people, and just like with working how I work with making sure that he's good with what he's doing. I've definitely sacrificed that portion of doing things, and I miss it so much. And I'm glad that the people in my community still stay around to watch the podcast and still check on me and see how I'm doing. But yeah, man, I've missed out on a lot, and it sucks. But at the end of the day, it's rewarding because I just look at my son and I see how happy he is, and he has everything that he needs, and he's thriving. So that's really what matters to me.
I get that, and that's. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know if that's appropriate to say, but
No, I rambled a little bit, so thank you for the
No.
appreciation.
It's I related to that in a lot of ways that I think I didn't want to. Um, I so I don't want to make this portion sound like I'm bagging on my dad because he definitely like did the best he could provided, but it was
No,
definitely
do it if you need to, because if you look at one of our last episodes, it's like hashtag like tell him or talk to him. It's because the guys that I do the podcast with, they've been trying to get me to talk to my dad about this for like a long time. But long story
I'm
short, it's
not
not gonna happen.
the one thing that I would say connects all of the Harrises is that we work. If we provide nothing else, is we work. I have only recently come off like 7 days a week, 80-hour weeks. I had my first I had my first paycheck with a bank job. Like I remember being 14 years old and my dad took me to the bank. And when you're 14 years old opening up a bank account, the guy didn't ask me if I wanted my dad on the account. He asked my dad if for me if I want if you know what I mean. I'm rambling now, but
Yeah, I get your question.
I remember he turned to me in the bank and was like, "No, this is his account. This is his paycheck. I don't want to be able to touch it." And at 14 years old, I was like, "Yeah, I'm a man." And I spent it on like Chinese food and Monster. If Angry Capitalist is still in here, he can attest to this because we did it together. I'll give him a minute. To catch up to that. But we were like, let me get back my head. Hold on. I'm trying to. We work, and I didn't see a lot of my dad growing up because of how much he worked. And for a small period, I was like, oh, it's me. It's like I'm not seeing him because there's something wrong with me or there's something me. And as I'm getting older, it's like, no, he just needed to work that much to provide for a family. Being the only working adult in the house, like it's insane that we got by like we did with one working adult in the house. And when I did see him, he'd be so tired from when he wasn't working that I might as well have not seen him because he was just sleeping or passed out or tired. And I was always like, oh, that's a bum deal growing up. Like, fuck me or whatever. And I remember just watching TikToks with my son and him like shaking me awake at like 4 in the afternoon. Like, Dad, why are you sleeping? Because I work a lot, dude. What do you mean? And then it's like, oh, that makes sense. I get it now.
Yeah, man, that's the thing, right? It's like, my dad has worked two jobs my whole life. I'm 32. He's been working two jobs since before I was even alive. And I think at a certain point, it's like you have to be an adult about certain shit and realize why people do certain things, right? And like you said, and my dad is not from this country; he's from a different country where they work a fucking lot, and then they provide for their family, and that's all they know how. That's all they're programmed to do. So the way I really looked at it was, you know, I love my father, and he did a great job in providing, but he didn't really raise me. You know what I mean? But the man now, I realized that he taught me how to be a man by doing what he did. And now I'm appreciative because I can look at my son and be like, I'm not gonna do the same shit that my dad did, and I'm gonna be around. So I think it's really how you take it when you get older, and when you really sit back and analyze and kind of like try and put pieces of the puzzle together. It's really how you take it at the end of the day. Because I have a younger brother, right, and he might not take it the same way that I do, but that's part of growth and being alive and growing older and having children. Is like, how are you going to take it at the end of the day? My father did a great job in raising me as a man because I know that I don't want to be like him
I agree.
in that sense of being around. I, I strive to be as hardworking as he is. I strive to be as much of a winner as he is and view myself as such. But I know that I'm gonna be there for my son, and I know that I'm gonna be there to enjoy the things that he enjoys doing. My dad, I skated for fucking 12 years of my life. My dad maybe watched me skate one time out of 12 years. My dad's never seen a piece of graffiti that I've ever done. My dad's been to one dance performance that I've ever danced at. You know what I mean? Like, but but I understand now as the man that I am today, as the father that I am today, that that's just how he was programmed. And based off of how he was programmed and based how I am as a man today, I understand that that's how he was programmed, and I understand that that's not what I'm going to provide for my child. I'm going to be there for even if we have to fucking struggle. You know what I mean? Even if I got to eat Lunchables so my son could eat whatever the fuck he wants to, then so be it. You know what I mean? Like that's just how that's what it's going to be. Because I'd rather eat Lunchables than miss out on a baseball game. I'd rather eat Lunchables than miss out on a trip to the aquarium. I'd rather eat Lunchables than miss out on hiding Easter eggs from. Like that's how it is. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm glad we're wearing sunglasses this episode.
Now the guys have been trying to get me to cry for fucking 47 episodes. So fuck them. I'm not crying on this episode. I promise you, I'm not.
Special episode. No, it's no, because it's crazy because that's exactly how I am super appreciative for my dad because of how I grew up. Because if I didn't grow up that way, I probably wouldn't have been the problem solver that I am. And now that I am this problem solver, like I don't want that for my son. I want him to be able to solve problems. I don't want him to be like the bro. It's hard. The my grandfather worked a factory job, like the no shit American factory jobs, and they made him retire early. They were like they paid out his pension like 3 years before it, and they were like, we're making less, we're paying you too much, so we're gonna have you retire early. And then my dad is, I'm bad with ages, but I'm 28 and he's 20 years old, so he's 48 years old. That can't be right. I feel like
young.
both my, no, yeah, they both are, but I feel like he's, no, I guess he's 48. But he still gets up at like 3 every morning to go to work. Like that's still his like, and he still works. I think he works more than I do still, and that's where I was like, oh, I'm appreciative. That was my upbringing. I'm appreciative. He got hurt on the job. He has no cartilage in one of his knees because he fell in a printing press, and then like within 2 weeks was back to work. And I'm the same way. If I know Corpse isn't one of our viewers right now, but he was there when I snapped my right ankle for both the first and second time, and we were just like, they were like, go home, and I was like, can't. If I live alone, if I'm not paying my rent, nobody's paying my rent. Yep. And I have always done 60 to 80 hour weeks, and I'm on like my third or fourth month of that not being the case anymore, of not having 2 or 3 jobs anymore for the first time in my life. And I'm like, oh, I'm super glad I can do 2 or 3 jobs, because a lot of people can't. A lot of people can't show up to work on time. A lot of people can't drink and go to work, which I shouldn't be proud of, but I can definitely do.
I definitely did a lot of my 20s. I'll tell you that.
I'm in my 20s, so I'm gonna iron. I got 2 years left of this, but
wait till you get to 30, bro. It's not that easy. I promise you, it's not.
But I don't want that for my son. And for the first time, it's like, maybe I don't have to work every minute of the waking hour. And it's like, how do we get him to not have to do this as well? His mother had just texted me, I think like, it's like 2 or 3 days ago. Let me see if I can find it. I don't think I'm going to find it. He had just taken, no, hold on. I'm actually pretty proud of this, so I'm going to delay the podcast for this.
Go ahead, read it to me.
I'm looking. Okay, I finally got a copy of his gifted testing. He got nearly a perfect score. Only 0.1% did better than him. Not just schooling, but his gifted schooling. Only 0.1% did better than him on the tests.
What's gifted?
For second grade, I don't know what that entails. She's a school teacher, so she would know better. But it's there was a lot to that because I wasn't good.
Oh
in
wait,
school
you're talking
growing
about
up.
like the gift program?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. That's where they can like read at a higher level and like
yeah,
do
yeah,
math
yeah.
at a higher. Yeah.
Only,
Okay.
only 0.1%, and I'm not taking credit for that. That's all her. She's a school teacher. She's got her master's in psychology. Um, she's going back to school to get her doctorate. Um, that's all them. He
Hey
definitely
man,
didn't get this.
I'll tell you this. Like I applaud you for that right there for what you just said. Like, listen,
Cheers, bro.
my
I'll
son,
drink to that.
yeah, my son's mom is a fucking great mom. She's the fucking shit, bro. Like, she has her bachelor's in psychology. She has her bachelor's in um biology, and she's an RN. Now she's an RN, and bro, like she's one of the smartest people I fucking know. You know what I mean? The fact that I was able to have a
Dude,
child with her, and
we're like
yeah,
almost the same person. We just like
yeah,
color
she,
swapped,
she,
bro.
she. But yeah, man, I praise her so
she
much.
when we had met, she was going for her RN.
Yeah, no, she's an RN now, and she works not overnights, and she's one of the smartest people I know, and um, my son wouldn't be who he is to this day without her, and I applaud her so much. Like I couldn't put her up on a higher pedestal than I do. So yeah, that's great. Like that to me, that shows what type of man you are by being able to, you don't call her your baby mama, which I hate that fucking saying.
I don't like that.
Yeah, and just being able to, give her flowers while she's here, telling you that that's all her. I think that just shows what type of man you are, and I applaud that so fucking much because it just shows what type of man you are. You know what I mean? And with having a son, you need to lead by example, and that's like, my son's mom gets flowers on Valentine's Day. She gets gifts on Christmas and shit like that. Mother's Day, she gets fucking pampered because we have sons that watch what the fuck they fucking live to watch what the fuck we do. You know what I mean? So based off of that, they need to make sure that their mom is taken care of because I need him to make sure that he loves his mom to the fullest. You know what I mean? She fucking
The
had
angry
you, bro.
the angry capitalist left a comment. I'm gonna leave this up for you, and then I'm gonna go pee again.
Okay.
Let me know when you're
Hey,
ready.
y'all as fathers ever worry about overcorrecting from how you grew up? Ooh,
I'm gonna let you answer that. I'm gonna go pee real quick.
overcorrecting. I want to make
I could. I'll let you answer first.
overcorrecting. I if I'm understanding the question correctly, like overcorrecting what our fathers did, or overcorrecting what our fathers didn't do in order for us to do what we need to do with our children. I would say personally, I don't, because I still parent and father with a rough hand, and make sure that my child is the best at everything that he does. Make sure that my child does what he wants to do. Right, like baseball was not my choice; it was his. I gave him the choice between soccer and baseball. He didn't like soccer, so he went with baseball. And when I hear my son say things like, "This is my sport. This is what I want to do," then then he's made that decision on his own. Uh, I mean, I think I would say sure. I do live in a somewhat fear that I'm overcorrecting what my father didn't do. But the things that he said, the thing that my son says is, I guess the proof is in the pudding that I'm not overcorrecting, if that makes sense.
That is a hard question that I wasn't expecting to drop my full screen for to read, but Yeah, I probably do fear that, and it is probably because it is so personal to me, a hard thing to gauge accurately. Um, it's hard because the one thing I loved my dad for growing up was that he gave me the freedom to make my own decisions, and by association, my own mistakes. And for the longest time, I was like, oh, thank you for that. But I don't know how many times I get the question, "Oh, did you play sports growing up?" No, I didn't because I bounced between my parents' house. They separated when I was not even old enough to remember. And to maintain like a healthy relationship with them, I never did any of those things or anything that would take up like that much time, where I would miss my time with my dad. And almost anybody who's great at anything, they're like, oh, boxers start at 7 years old, musicians start early, and it's never their choice. It's like, oh, my dad got me into guitar and in the single digits. I got into boxing at 4 years old. That's never their choice. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't make we don't make him do it. Neither of us make him do anything we don't make him do anything he doesn't want to. And at 8 years old, that is a lot of power. Um, I remember I took him to Universal for my birthday last year, and we were going there to ride the rides. And on the way up, uh, he was like, "Oh, I don't want to get on the escalator." And I was like, "Why not, bud?" He's like, "Oh, I'm scared of them." I was like, "Buddy, we're on our way to Universal to ride some rides, and you don't want to get on the escalator." So I do kind of, yeah, I probably do overcorrect a little bit. I'll admit.
So let me ask you this: do you ever like at any point in your life were you ever upset that your parents separated?
Uh, Probably not because I didn't see them in the same room until my Marine Corps graduation, which was 22.
And so, do you ever think that your son will ever be upset at the fact that you and his mom separated?
Oh, I don't want to date because of that. Being completely honest, I don't date now, and I feel like a small part of that reason is because I really don't want to be asked the question why I could make it work with someone else.
Yeah, that's a hard one, right? Like that's
Yeah, I kind of wish I didn't say that because I don't want to make it sound like it was his fault because it's not. It's all personal
no, of
choice on my
course
part.
it's no, of course not. And that's not what I was trying to say, right? But like,
No, no, no. I meant with my response.
no, and I understand what you're saying, right? Because I've said out loud, and I've said it on the podcast a million times, like if I do end up alone, like I'm okay with being alone until my son is older, and like
I have heard that. I have heard you say that, and I am with you in full agreement to the point where I have already accepted that as a fact of life. I almost prefer it, to be completely honest. When I used to live with other people, I would like when I get home in my car, I would wait 10 to 15 minutes in my car with the car turned off because that is the last 10 minutes alone I'm ever going to get for the rest of that night. Until I go to work and drive myself to work the next morning, that is the last alone time I'll get.
yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's like, I know a lot of people that bounce from relationship to relationship. I know a lot of single parents that think that they have to be with somebody else. I know a lot of single non-parents that feel like they want have to be with somebody else. And a lot of the time that I've spent by myself, I've reflected and understood that like being alone is amazing. Being with somebody is amazing as well. But being
For
alone
different
is
reasons.
sure. But being alone is like if we can't learn that, if we can't learn how to be alone and be happy by ourselves, like we really don't fucking deserve anybody else. Genuinely.
I don't want to get into another relationship until. Hold on. I don't remember who said it. I want to say it was like Tyrese Gibson said that they immediately get into it's probably not, but immediately want to get into relationships because they want the next person to fix them, and I don't think that. I think it is your responsibility to fix yourself and then get into a relationship, and
But
that
you
is
want
my
to fuck though, right?
Oh, for sure. That's never gonna stop.
So how do you fuck without being in a relationship these days?
Facebook dating, bro. I fucking.
I'm not gonna lie. I have tried Facebook dating in the past.
I don't do a fucking digital footprint. I have met one girl on Tinder, and the whole time I was on there that I slept with, I had one date on Bumble that
Technology
didn't.
sucks dick.
I hate. Oh god, social media is like a fucking. Social media itself is like not my place, but dating apps are like, goddamn, I wish I was born in like the 1950s. That era where you could fully support yourself on a family and then have a hidden secret family across town. I miss that fucking generation.
I mean, I don't know if I would want to live in that generation though. I gotta support 2 fucking families. I gotta deal with 2 women. Listen, I'm not a side girl type of guy. I'm not a side girl type of guy because one girl already asked for enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's I'm back and forth on it, to be completely honest. I think I'm hopelessly romantic. You can debate me on that. Fuck me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm a hopeless romantic. And
so hold on. Okay, so let's debate a little bit. What is a hopeless romantic? Explain to me what that is.
This is a key memory.
This is coming from somebody that says that they want to be alone. So explain to me what somebody that wants to be alone thinks of as a hopeless romantic.
So if I'm gonna be with someone, it has to be with someone who doesn't feel the need to fill the silence. I want to be able to enjoy the quiet moments with you, is what I want. And I have tried dating, and I have not found that in somebody. And it's almost the exact opposite. I almost feel like the quiet moments, the parts I have truly enjoyed with someone, have been used against me. Like, oh, you were quiet. Oh, you didn't speak up about this specific thing. I didn't know it was a big deal to you. I'm sorry. We could have talked about that. This didn't have to be a fight.
So you agree that communication is very powerful when it comes to relationships, right?
I think knowing how you communicate is very important. I am very much a physical touch person. I'm not very verbal. As much like I have a podcast, we're talking. That's mostly this. It takes me a few to feel like a normal person.
Okay. Do you like to go out on dates where you drink?
No, because I don't really drink that much anymore. This is a special occasion.
Okay. I appreciate it.
And I'm glad the way this interview has turned out, because it has been. I didn't think it was going to get this deep, to be honest.
I don't think it's an interview. I think we're just 2 motherfuckers just talking.
I had on the docket. I had the MTG thing was supposed to be all like the first 5 minutes of it, and then it was supposed to be like
that was 45 minutes.
That I hit it. It was like 50 minutes. I was like, oh, we're still going.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you, I'm a special type of motherfucker. I'm gonna go real deep, dog. I don't got a big dick, but I'll go deep.
Hold on. I'm gonna. You talk for a second. I'm gonna kill this water. I'm gonna kill.
Nah, man, I like to dig. Hey, this is the psychology background that I have, right? I like to dig deep. I want to know who the fuck I'm talking to. Granted, you had me on your podcast, but I'm gonna figure out who the fuck I'm talking about or who I'm talking to real quick.
I like to be able to just sit with somebody and enjoy what's going on around us. I used to carry around what do they call those? It's not. I don't think it's candid photos. I love
Polaroids?
Yeah, it was a Polaroid, but that's not what I mean. It's when you take a picture of somebody when they're not. It's gonna
Yeah,
sound real
candid.
bad.
Candid.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I
Like you take a
love
picture, they're not
photos.
expecting it.
Yes, but not because you were looking in through their window or whatever. uh,
I mean, I like taking
uh,
those too, but
no, I like when you take a photo of somebody doing something they like, or when somebody talks about the thing they don't get to talk about that much, and how they get excited about that, even if it's not something I'm into. I have a friend who talks about Magic all the time, and I haven't played since the Mardu cons. And she talks about like Elspeth or oh man, I really should have been paying attention. She talks about MTG lore, and I don't know what the fuck she's talking about, and I love it because she's happy when she's talking about it. She's excited when she's talking about it. Those are the kind of things I love. I used to carry around. This is going to sound real depressing. I used to carry around a Polaroid of my ex that she hated because at the time our son was 3 and he had taken a photo of her when she wasn't really paying attention, and that was the photo I kept in my wallet because it was like a real picture of her. And she never really understood that. She hated that picture because she didn't pose for it. I don't like posed pictures. Most of my pictures in my albums and galleries are of landscapes, are of landmarks. I'm not in them. I took them. I'm not in them. Almost all the photos I have of me and my son are. I have a lot more photos of my son because I'm not in them because I like to take them as they're happening. I don't want to be like, oh, we're having a good moment. Let's pause and all fake something. Um,
see it. No, I hate that shit. And here's the thing:
I don't. You can
I
tell.
like concerts, parades. Like we took my son to Legoland on Sunday, right? Like you and I had this
Oh,
conversation with
fucking!
being.
Hold on, hold on.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
You're a good milkman. But when it comes to like my son, right? Like you know, so we were supposed to do the podcast on Sunday, and I had to cancel on you, and I was like, look, I got to take my man, it's a monster on FB dating. We had to take my son. We took my son to Legoland on Sunday, and I don't have a single picture of my son at Legoland on Sunday. And it's because to me, the way that I grew up and the way that I view things is like I want to view this real time. I want to view this as it's happening. I don't want to be like, "Oh shit, hold on, let me take out my phone and take a picture."
Mm,
Like I don't want to be that guy that's like, "Let me I I love pictures and I'm so happy that there's other people around to take the pictures." But I don't want to be the one to when I'm at a concert, if I go to a concert, bro, there's people on my Instagram that go to concerts and their whole story is just 40 fucking stories or stories of the concert.
yeah.
Did you enjoy the fucking concert? Did you like no, you had your fucking phone out the whole time. You paid 100 and whatever fucking dollars or plus to go to this concert to see somebody that you want to see. Put your fucking phone in your pocket and enjoy the concert, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You went to a parade with your child and you're taking pictures of the. Let me ask you a question. How many times are you gonna go back and watch that video of that fucking concert and be like, "Oh yeah, I lived this. It was great." No, you're gonna have to remember. You're gonna be like, "Yo, I went to this fucking concert. It was a banging ass concert." Like I'm not the pull out my phone, take a picture type of person. To me personally, I hate that shit, bro. Like I get it. If we're out and we're having a good time, oh, babe, I want to take a picture of this and remember this. Let's take a picture. Cool, I get that. But it like live in the moment, man. Live in the fucking moment. At the end of the day, I want to be on my deathbed and be like, I remember this, I remember that, I remember this, I remember that. I don't want to be looking through my phones and be like, oh, you remember this day, you remember that day, you remember, oh yeah. I'm like, fuck that, bro. I want it to be all up here.
I am both of those people because I personally do not like taking photos, and then it's like telling a story and then being like, oh hey, let me pull that up, and it's like, oh, I didn't take a photo that day. And it's not the photo that you're trying to it's not the photo you're trying to capture, but it's like I have a lot of pictures of people in the military or I don't have a lot of pictures of people in the military that I just won't be able to call on again. Sometimes things are out of your hand, and you be like, "Damn, I wish I had something to link to this when I say this." So it is. I am on both sides of that, to be completely honest.
No, and I get it, and I listen. I completely get it because I have friends that are photographers or friends that just love to take pictures of shit, and I get it, but great, you be that person that takes the pictures. You know what I mean? Like you, this motherfucker fucked up his beanie and fucked up his glasses.
Yeah, I was like, I think that's gonna go back on.
But yeah, man, I'm just a live in the moment type of person. But I like to have people around me that take pictures. If I could, but Drake says this in a song, and I know a lot of people don't like Drake, but he says, "I can't live and hold the camera."
That's Wheelchair Jimmy, right?
Wheelchair Jimmy. He says, "I can't live and hold the camera. Someone's got to tape this. Like I can't live and hold the camera. Like I gotta have somebody around, whether that be mom, whether that be a friend of mine that I know that takes pictures, but I can't live and hold the camera. I just want to live. I just want to do my thing. If somebody wants to take pictures, and like I said, granted, I love people when they take pictures, and I love getting these pictures, candid pictures, and like, oh, this is you when you were doing this, or this is you and your son when you were doing this. And there will be times where I'll pull my camera out and take pictures of my son doing something, but at the end of the day, like, I just want that memory for me. You know what I mean? Because as soon as I take that picture, or as soon as somebody takes a picture of their kid doing something, and they want to post it to social media and give it to everybody and this and that, I get it. You want to share, but why should that be the immediate reaction once you take a picture? Some things are just for me. Some things are just for me. You know what I mean?
No, I get that. A lot of my favorite memories aren't something I can physically show you because they're not that special looking. Like where's your happy place? Like if you could just live someplace without having to worry about like
Somebody
rent,
just asked
money.
me. Somebody just asked me this today. I don't have one.
You don't have one at all. You don't have like a place you would live if like money wasn't an option, tax wasn't something you had to worry about, politics wasn't.
I wish I did, man. My mind is such a dark and demented place, and that's a that's the
Drunk
fucked
there,
up thing
bro.
about it, right? Like it's like is that man, and Corpse and I a long time ago we had a smoking section podcast about this, about how like the happiest people are just the darkest minded people in this world, and a friend of mine was going through some shit, and somebody told him like, "Oh, just go to your happy place." And I really thought to myself, I was like, "Damn, I don't have one of those." Like, if you told me that I had to lay somewhere in a bed for 6 hours and just go to my happy place, man, it would be the most fucked up place I've ever been to in my life because this portion of my body really has doesn't have enough imagination to go somewhere that great. You know what I mean? And it just sucks, man. I want everybody to be fucking happy, but truly, at the end of the day, like this portion of my being is just the most darkest and demented place that anybody could ever visit,
Have you
and
lived
it's
in
not on
California
purpose.
your whole life?
My whole life.
Have you lived in? You're in. I'm not gonna say where, but
I'm in San
have
Diego.
you
Yeah, you can say San Diego. I don't give a fuck.
have you lived in San Diego your whole life?
No, I lived in Ventura for a little while. That's where I met
What is
Corpse.
that like a fucking 6 hour difference?
3
4
hours.
hour difference? Three
Yeah,
hours?
3 hours.
Um, so that 3 hour radius is all you've ever lived in?
Yeah.
That might be part of it. I
Um,
was born in Syracuse, New York. I graduated high school
you
in
were born in
Florida.
Syracuse? Okay. Syracuse
SU
is the.
baby.
I visited upstate New York not too long ago, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could, like, if it didn't snow up there, I'd probably live there.
So that was kind of my question right there. If you could live anywhere without like with just the fantasy element, where would you live?
Oh, I
Someplace that had
mean,
seasons?
no, I don't want to live in snow. I'd probably live in
I don't.
Colorado or Texas.
You know, Colorado gets a lot of snow, right?
That's why I said it used. I said with no season, I'd probably live in Colorado, but I'd probably live in Texas if I like.
So my point in asking is my favorite like two places have been like Gatlinburg, Tennessee, like Pigeon Forge,
Yeah.
and like the Smoky Mountains, Tennessee, and San Bernardino in California.
What
If
the
I ever
fuck?
had
You would live in San Bernardino?
the mountain part.
That shit is ghetto as fuck, dog. You do not
No,
want
no,
to
no,
be
no,
nowhere
the
near that.
fucking Big Bear.
Oh, Big Bear. Okay, that's not San
Is that
Bernardino.
is it not? I,
No.
I always
San
assumed that was.
Bernardino, you don't want to live there, bro. The crime rate is higher than a fucking hippopotamus smoking a gram.
The only times Big Bear is one of my like favorite places to be, and I can
Okay.
physically feel myself deflating when I'm coming down the mountain. I'm like,
I've
oh,
never
this
been to
was,
Big Bear. I've lived here my whole life. I've never been to Big Bear.
dude. If they ever gave us more than 2 days off in a weekend, dude. I have slept in a fucking bag in San Bernardino, bro. I would sleep on a rock. That felt fucking good. I have slept on a rock in I guess not San Bernardino, in fucking Big Bear,
Yeah, that's not San Bernardino.
1911, yeah, I guess. The guy who hasn't been to Big Bear is gonna school me on fucking Big Bear.
No, but
I'm gonna Google
I
that.
have family that lives in San Bernardino.
Hold on, keep talking. I'm gonna Google Big Bear real
No,
quick.
you're the one fucking talking, motherfucker. What the fuck? You want me to keep talking? You're the one telling me a story.
Big Bear is one of my favorite places to be, and I don't like California that much, to be completely honest. I think it's a beautiful state. I don't care for the people. I don't care for the politics.
I
I
don't
don't
care
care
for
for
the
your
politics either.
laws. But Big Bear, California is like one of my favorite places to be. And I even remember like texting my ex about it. Like, we're going up to San Bernardino. We're going up to Big Bear for the weekend. And then I was like, good, happy, going up the mountain. And then I remember coming down it. And I was like, it was a good trip. There was nothing wrong with it. Nothing bad happened. And that was the time I slept on a rock with a 1911 under my fucking, not even a pillow, just under my head. Just sleeping in a sleeping bag, 1911 like this. Just like, no bears, cool. And it's like, I remember just coming down the mountain and there was nothing wrong with the weekend. It was just getting back to the real world. Work was the next day, all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, this sucks. And there was nothing that sucked. It was me. Me sucked.
It's like when you're a kid, right? And you go to Disneyland and you're like, the ride there takes forever. You're so fucking excited to go there. And then the ride back home just feels like it was that fucking fast. That's the only way I can put it.
That would feel accurate, but I didn't go to amusement parks until I started going with my son.
You know what I mean. I'm just making the analogy.
I guess I didn't go to a lot of amusement parks. I still don't like them. I don't like cities. I don't like a lot of people. What are you looking for?
I dropped my headphones. Well, I dropped
And your
one. I was
glasses.
charging my other headphone and I dropped. Found it. My bad.
Let me check our messages real quick. No, it's nothing new. Man, this has been a roller coaster.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I
No,
apologize.
it was cool. No,
I
it's
apologize. I apologize for making it something that maybe you didn't think it was gonna be. But at the end of the day, this is what I try and tell people. And and my closest friends know this, right? It's like and it always goes back to like the happiest people. We just deal with the darkest shit. Like that, I truly believe that. And if you really get to know somebody at face value, there's always something that resides deeper than that. So, like especially with you being in comedy, what I mean, like you wanting to do stand up and you wanting to, you creating sets and creating bits and things of that nature. It's like that comes from a dark place. Like it
Oh
genuinely
yeah.
does come from a
Oh
dark
yeah.
place. And like me personally, I love when people are smiling around me. I love when people are happy around me. I love when I can make a joke or something or bring some type of joy and value to your life because maybe I don't like that's what brings joy to my life. That's what brings value to my life is that I'm bringing joy and value to somebody else's life. But at the same time, I I'm not gonna feel that joyous as you do. I'm not gonna feel that type of value as you do. But it gives me like the hint of that. It gives me a taste of that.
I
So
think.
I get where you're coming from wanting to do comedy. I get where you're coming from with the
Well, I like comedy because my life is a joke, so at least other people are gonna laugh at it. But what it, I think what I appreciate more than anything, even if I'm not actively enjoying the moment, is if something is real or genuine. Uh, even just dial it back to like removed from people. I don't like spoilers. And if you're gonna like, if we're watching a movie, or if something's coming out, and you're like, oh, I read this is the leak, or this is like what's coming up in the manga, or whatever. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna not watch this until I don't fucking remember what the spoiler was. I love being surprised. I love things being real, and I love things being genuine, even if I'm not actively enjoying it. Uh, and I feel like it was already happening before we came around, because you're not that much older than me, right?
no, I'm 32.
So you remember a time before social media,
Absolutely. And I talk about it
and
frequently. And I love that time.
I hate social media, and I hate social media. I hate dating apps, and I hate that to even continue in anything means you kind of have to participate in it. As I have a podcast, dude, I just made a TikTok, not because I want to, but just
I
because
saw.
that's
I know I followed you.
yeah. I'll follow you back. Give me a minute. I don't get on there to doom scroll or whatever. It's purely like to post something and then f off. Like Angry Capitalist posts a lot on there, and I try to keep up with as much as I can. But dude, he's just grinding, and you gotta respect that,
Does
because
he
I
have
don't
a
give a.
podcast or what does he do?
He has a YouTube channel. He has a TikTok. He has an Instagram, and you should follow all of those things, because that man does not stop fucking working.
What does he
And
do?
I
What does he do though? Does he do like talk? Does he do a podcast? Does he do like streaming video games? What does he do?
he oh man, hold on, give me a second. So on his YouTube, he likes to talk about like economics. Um, it's hard to say because I don't want to pin it down, because he does also have like guests. He also does. I was his first guest, by the way. And on his TikTok is actually, it's not meant to be funny, but he's got this good little algorithm of, if you post something stupid, he's gonna reply to it, or he's gonna tell you why you're fucking wrong. And I'm not political, and it's one of the funniest fucking things I've seen. And it's also informational, which is probably the most important part, because I've learned a lot just watching it.
Is he
So
Angry
shout out
Capitalist on TikTok as well?
TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. That's all. I have it in my bio. I don't think I have it in my bio, but I have it in my links. I have it in anything I've ever tagged them in, and I have it on my YouTube. And also, text me all your stuff, because I don't have them. I don't know if
I
you
got
want
you.
anything.
You're good. I got you. Are you nervous? Am I making you nervous right now? Because you fidgeting.
No, I wanted to. I do that with my hands. I wanted to show you this. It's not coming across very well, but it's
I can see it. Charizard letter. Yeah, that shit is sick. Oh yeah, that shit is sick. I was like, oh, maybe I'm making him nervous. What the fuck we're saying?
No. I'm not. This is back to the love languages thing I never finished. I'm gift giving, and I do not like being like vocal. I like being physical. I like being like, if you don't give me a purpose for my hands, I'm gonna find it. And this is
all right. Let me ask you a weird question.
Go for it.
We're about to get weird. Like, would you suck on toes?
No, I can do that one. I can answer that question easily. Feet are my absolute dude. We're almost 2 hours in. I'll admit this. I'll eat ass before I suck toes, bro. 100%.
I don't know what people what they want. Let's give the people what. So you want to put a toe in your mouth? Even like pretty toes?
There is no such. One of you said it on your podcast. There's no such thing as pretty toe. It was Damien.
Yeah, Zero said that. Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, he was right. He was right when he said that, bro. I was gonna get that shit tattooed when he said that. There are no such thing as pretty toes.
Is there such thing as two pretty best friends?
Not if you want to sleep with one of them.
Okay.
Are you a toe person?
I'll suck on some toes. I don't give a fuck.
Really? I'll massage some feet. Damien said this too. I'll massage some feet, but I won't suck on them. And to be completely honest, the only toes that have ever been massaged, like my dick has been in their mouth.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you put your dick in between their toes. I was about to say that's wild.
I've never had a foot job, but I'm not against it.
Are you open to it though? Are you open to foot jobs?
I lived in a 31-foot Airstream, bro. I don't think I get to be that picky anymore.
Yeah, I mean, but so if you're open to fucking feet around your dick, then I'm pretty sure you're open to a fucking foot in your mouth.
No, it's like I think it's a texture thing, bro.
So are you thumb in or thumb out?
I heard you guys talking about this, dude. I believe in consent. Is that the right answer?
No, what the fuck? That's a horrible answer.
All right, I think I'm gonna have to pee one more time, and then
I gotta pee too. All right.
Rock paper scissors. No, rock paper scissors.
All right,
rock paper
ready?
scissors.
All right, rock paper scissors shoot.
What is that?
Okay, that's scissors.
Oh, all right.
One
more time.
All right. Rock paper.
Lesbians in IKEA. Go.
All right. Rock paper scissors shoot.
Fuck. All right, go ahead. All right, let me. This is depressing as he's lying about it. Hold on. This is depressing asshole. He's lying about upstate. No, I think he's only been there once or twice. What part of upstate New York did you go to? I heard Amsterdam, so I know that wasn't real. No, you've been there your whole life, minus your time in the military, and that's why you don't like fucking upstate New York. It is very pretty, and I wish I appreciated it while I was there, because I realized.
Somebody say, did you say I was lying because I said I've been to Amsterdam?
No, hold on.
I've been to Amsterdam, New York. This is depressing.
Oh, that's a real. Okay, that's not what I thought.
Yeah, it's right next to Schenectady.
Angry capitalist lives in New York, and he's saying that you are lying.
I went to Amsterdam, and it was it's right next to. It's about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes from Schenectady. Yeah,
those are all words. Those are all words, and none of them were in the Bible. I'm gonna go pee real quick.
No, I've been to Amsterdam, New York. It's like north of Binghamton and west of Schenectady. It's north of Syracuse. I know that for a fact. And I went to the. Where did I go to? The Van Gogh Museum in Schenectady. They had like a Van Gogh museum in Schenectady that I went to, and it was absolutely amazing. I had a great fucking time. It was a good time. Yeah, no, I absolutely loved it up there. It's fucking green as shit. There's water. Like, I took a train from New York City to Amsterdam. It was absolutely amazing. I loved it. I had a good time.
What time of the year did you go?
I went in April of last year.
Oh, that's why. Hold on. I'm almost done.
I actually went to go see a girl up there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I met a girl from upstate.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she fucked me over.
Oh, yeah?
Long story.
Well,
You'd rather be with
no.
some camouflage boot wearing motherfucker that lives up there than somebody from San Diego. So, all power
that's
to her. I hope I get
that's-
invited to the wedding.
That's Jesus.
That's fucking dark. I don't mean that. I mean that in the nicest way possible. I've been drinking. I apologize. I didn't mean that in a mean way.
Bowser lost his glasses.
I meant that in the nicest way possible. I hope I get invited to the wedding. I apologize.
No, I think there's something wrong with me because if I don't see people, like I forget they exist. So if I didn't respond to something or if I don't text you, it's not personal. I just have no object permanence.
I get that. That's probably why you thought I was ignoring you.
No, that was on me. I had misread that one, and I had thought that.
Yeah, I would never diss you like. What the fuck? I want to be.
Well, I didn't think you were dissing me. I just thought you were fucking busy.
I would never do that. I wanted to be on your podcast. I'm the one who said once you have all three of us on here, it'd be fucking amazing to have all three of us on here.
I hope we do that.
That would be sick. That would be a sick ass fucking podcast.
Damien's next. I hope he knows that.
He's waiting for you to message him. We talked about it today.
I go in and out of like
consciousness. Sometimes I get it. Cheers to that.
I wish.
Wait, do you work tomorrow?
Yeah, but like at noon, so don't worry.
Oh yeah, you said noon. Yeah, tonight. I don't work till 9, so tonight is like a night of just let's get fucking drunk and do dumb shit.
Hey, cheers, bro. I'll drink to that.
I got you.
Good thing I did this live because I probably wouldn't have posted this last half.
This is like my 6th fucking White Claw of the night.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on my 6th too.
Sounds good to me.
I love that. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You love that what? Let's hear it.
A fucking corpse dropped 6 messages, and then just dropped out.
That's how he does. That's a busy man.
Yeah, he is, and I attribute this podcast to him. To be completely honest, he begged me to make one for the longest time, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think podcasts are for me. And now I'm.
So let me ask you a question. So if you don't have a guest, do you do a 45 segment by yourself?
I don't think I'm going to do a podcast without people because I think this is a. Oh, hold on. He just said the weather sucks and the people suck. And
the weather does suck. Yeah,
it does suck. That's what he was trying to say earlier is that you were lying just because fucking the weather sucks there.
The girl that I met was pretty hot, but there's hot girls wherever you go.
I have a podcast because of Corp specifically. He has pushed me to make one. He's pushed me to be on your guys. I was on like 2 of your guys' episodes before I even made my first episode, and I attribute the rest of my success to the Angry Capitalist because that guy grinds, and I don't like losing, bro. And that guy is putting out more videos than I am right now. But he has a good hook. He has a good theme. And comedy alone isn't enough to just post. I don't like dead air. I don't like talking for the sake of it. I like things to have a point. I like things to have a meaning.
I'm going to tell you, you made me a little nervous when you told that to me earlier. You were like, oh, if there's any dead air or any dead space, like, and then we'll cut it, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, shit, are we going to have enough to talk about for the next hour and 20 minutes?
I did not think.
We're at 2 hours.
I did not. Yeah, I saw that. I did not think TCGs were gonna take 58 fucking minutes to talk about.
Let me tell you, man.
But
When you deal with motherfuckers like us, bro, that just want to get to know one another, because that's what I get from you, and that's what I got from you when you did our podcast, you know. And I watched your smoking section episode, and I watched the episode that you did with, you know, the Unlucky Charms episode that you did with Corpse. Man, I'm telling you, like, you're a very empathetic person, and you really care about what people are talking about and what they do. And there's not, I mean, there's not a lot of dead space when it comes to that. When you put two people or three people in a similar space, there's not a lot of dead air or dead space when it comes to that type of shit. And you know, like you and I, we reflect and agree on a lot of different aspects, especially with our fathers and being fathers. Um, you know, like making other people happy and just living in the moment type shit. TCGs. But yeah, man, I would say that there's a lot to reference. And I cannot wait to be on another episode with you. I cannot wait to do the episode with the three of us on you. I can't wait to watch Zero's episode with you. Like, I think it would be, I think it's gonna be great. I think that you have a lot going for yourself on this. And I think that should continue to do it. I think there's a lot that you can put into your production, and a lot that you're going to put into your production. And you know, I watch a lot of comedy, and I think you're a funny motherfucker. I mean, just from the episode that you did with us on Usual Tuesday, um, I I can't wait. I can't wait to be like watch you at an arena and be, or you know, a theater and be like, yo, this motherfucker. I remember when this motherfucker was sitting behind or in front of a Charizard blanket that was in his trailer home or whatever the fuck you want. What'd you say? A Gulf Stream? What the fuck did you call it?
Airstream. It's an
Airstream.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like these are the stories that are untold that people are waiting to see.
Dude, I think my hold on. I'm gonna cheers to that because that was probably the nicest thing I've heard this week.
Take it all, baby. Take it all. Seltzer's giving me too much gas. I would be right there to join you.
Have you had the Simply Lemonades?
I don't like them. They're too sweet.
I just bought a 12-pack, and I kind of like them.
They're too sweet. They make my saliva like too thick. I gotta suck dick later. I feel either a burp coming or something like really heavy.
No, I just forgot everything I was about to say. I was killing that so that I would remember it, but I didn't.
Okay,
No,
okay.
that was probably the nicest thing I heard this week. So I just want to namaste that to you. But
I appreciate that, man.
honestly, bro, it's pretty refreshing to be able to talk to somebody who actually relates to what you're saying versus just like, bro, I don't even know because I try to go to a lot of what I try to go a lot of my life without like being recognized, without being noticed. Like, dude, I've been told like I wear flannels to the bar with like I don't drink anymore, but when I used to go out to the bars, I would wear like
This
a
man
flannel.
just chug the whole beer and say you don't drink anymore.
Hold on. Let's crack another one. I used to represent this nation drinking. You think you went all state, bro? I went internet, like fucking.
Look at this guy. Oh, he's about to chug another beer. Look, this is what happens when you get fucking 7 beers in a fucking ex-military motherfucker. He's fucking.
This is 2 hours in. Hold on. We have 60 seconds before this 2 hours in. What is your best drinking accomplishment?
What was my best drinking accomplishment?
We're asking the real questions now that we have 0 viewers.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that? What's my dress? like my best drink. What do you, like the most I've drank in a day?
No, because that means almost nothing. What is
Okay, so yeah, okay, here we go. I'll tell you what my best drinking accomplishment is. I used to have a good friend that I used to drink with. So he came over to my crib at 7 a.m. We used to drink Seagram 7, and I used to love Seagram 7 with Diet Coke, and he would drink his with cranberry. So he poured half of a gallon of Seagram 7 in a 2 liter of Diet Coke and half of the Seagram 7 in his cranberry, whatever liters, whatever, right? Went to the beach. We drank our shit, we're chilling. So we were like, hey, yo, like we're still chilling at the fucking beach. Let's get a 36 pack. So we got a 36 pack of Bud Light and we buried it in the sand and we were drinking it the whole time we were at the beach chilling. So then we finished the fucking 36 pack. We wound up going to the strip club at some fucking point. We're at the strip club. We're taking shots of tequila, fucking just drinking. I was so fucked up. Got kicked out of the strip club, led back into the strip club, called my brother to come get me. Hey, come get me. Went to a poker game, had 240s of Mickey's. Then I wound up pissing. I went back home with my girl at the time. I wound up pissing. I got up to piss. I didn't even make it to the bathroom. I just pissed on the floor. And she was like, go fucking sleep on the couch, you dirty motherfucker. And I slept on the couch. That was my I drank that much and just fucking it was horrible.
you ever snorkel before?
One time only, and I was in Cozumel, Mexico.
Snorkeling is when you take a beer bottle and put it into a beer can. You,
What the fuck? How the fuck do you do that?
beer bottle or beer can, beer bottle.
And you like drink it to the side like this? Like
Yeah, like a snorkel.
like a shotgun? But with a beer in it?
No. It is exactly a shotgun, but with a beer bottle into the can.
No, I've never done that. That sounds like crazy interesting. I shotgunned a Four Loko before. That was horrible.
Yeah, dude. No, we are close enough in age. You remember what the original Four Locos are like, don't you?
Yeah,
I
it was
I
Juice
just-
before that, and then before that was Sparks.
The
I don't know if people remember
original
Sparks.
Four Loco though. You remember like the debut Four Loco?
Yes,
Dude,
absolutely.
I was at work today and this 18-year-old kid was like, "Yeah, I had a Four Loco before." And I was like, "You did not have a Four Loco when I had a Four Loco."
Yeah, you didn't have the
He's like-
shit with the energy in it, with the fucking, with the fuck you in it, like the one and you're done in it. If you could get two of those down, bro, you were a god.
I said that less than 6 hours ago today. He was like, "Yeah, I had a Four Loco." I was like, "You didn't have a Four Loco when I had a Four Loco." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Dude, 2 Four Locos and you saw the face of God, bro."
Yeah, for real, dog. I remember I had a homie named Skittles. His name was Skittles, and he drank 2 Four Locos, and he like crouched down like a cholo crouch, and he couldn't fall over. That shit was funny as fuck. He could not fall over, dog. He was like,
Dude,
he was just like,
It's like the fentanyl of alcohol.
for real, for real, for real. All right, dog. All right, well, hey, we're on 2 hours now. We made it past. I mean, this is the longest you made it, dog. So I'll let you do your outro. This was a great talk, man. I appreciate you
It was a
so
great
much
time,
for
bro.
having
I
me
appreciate
on, bro.
you. I appreciate you coming on here, bro. I hope
Thank you.
fucking Damien realizes that he's next.
He is next, and he has to top me, and that's not easy to do. Nah, but I appreciate. No, honestly, bro, I appreciate you having me on here. Thank you so fucking much. I can't wait until we do the episode with all three of us on here. I can't wait to have you on another episode of the Usual Tuesdays.
You mean the four of us, right?
I mean the three of us on your podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's the beer talking. What are you drinking? Heineken?
Yes.
Yeah. But I can't wait. I mean, I genuinely appreciate you having me on here. I genuinely appreciate what you're doing with having like three of us on here, with you being on the podcast, and then once the three of us are on here, it's gonna be a fucking blast, man. And I genuinely like hope that your career takes off. I can't wait to see what comes next. But thank you so much for having me on, man. I really do appreciate it. Anybody that's listening, you guys can follow me on all social media networks at Save Wonder One ER. Um, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for having me on. I really do appreciate that.
Thank you for coming on, bro. This is probably the best 2 hours of this 24 hours I just had. I hope we do this again. Like I was telling you off screen, I like to have people on a second time for something a little more like what their wheelhouse is. And you were kind of the one person I've talked to about comedy that has kind of like you kind of do like the baseball, like the statistics, like the baseball statistics of comedy people. So if you want to come back on and just do like just like that again,
Oh,
I would
hell
love
yeah.
to have you on.
Absolutely.
Um, I think that would. I think I had in my notes like, what was that one thing we talked about where I was like, damn, dude, I was like, you really know your fucking comedians, bro. Like,
Oh yeah, I watch a lot of comedians, and I've been to a lot of comedy shows, and we have the comedy shop here in San Diego, where or the Laugh Factory, no, not Laugh Factory, comedy shop here in San Diego. Like a lot of comedians got their start here. Joe Rogan, Bobby Lee, like bro, a lot of people got their fucking start here, and a lot of people still do stand up here at this fucking. So like,
no,
yeah, I
you
watch
are
a lot of
in
comedy.
you are in a good place for that, and I'm actually
Yeah.
kind of jealous about that.
I just saw
I'm
Ralph Barbosa recently. I went to go
yeah,
see Mark
no,
Normand. Like,
you said Ralph Barbosa the first time we talked, and I was like, oh damn, this guy actually knows his comedy and not through
yeah,
reels.
yeah.
Because
Kevin
that is,
Hart is about to perform right here across the street from me in
are you
April.
going?
Like, yeah, absolutely. He's gonna try out some new sets. Like, I love comedy, bro. Comedy is a safe place for me, and I feel like politics and racism and all that shit aside, like comedy is a space for that, and I truly believe that people should continue with doing comedy. I mean, there's a spot that we have here in Normal Heights that does comedy every Sunday night, where like local stand-ups come and try their material, and you can get in there for free. You can bring your own alcohol, and I love that shit. You know what I mean? Like I believe that there's a safe place where when it comes to comedy, and I think people need to respect that more than they do.
You wanna hear something wild?
Yeah,
That was a
tell
yes
me
or no
what's.
question. I was
Oh
like, that
yes,
was a
yes.
yes no
I thought
question.
you were gonna tell me anyways, but yes, I do want to
Uh,
hear it. Yeah.
my workplace, they have a minivan, a 2005 Dodge something minivan, and they are about to put it into my paycheck where I buy it off of them through my paychecks because I'm about to start doing stand up on tour, and my Jeep cannot fucking handle uh, going more than fucking 24 miles in one day.
Are you gonna make it to California?
On a flight, probably not in a minivan and or my Jeep and or my Mustang and or my fucking bike.
Yeah, do that shit, bro, and record it. Like, put that. That's what Matt Rife did. Look at Matt Rife.
I we need to have you on a second time
Okay,
because
just tell me when. I'm down.
one of my biggest issues isn't with Matt Rife himself. It's with people who are like, oh god, I wish I had said this an hour and a half ago, but but fucking people who watch comedy through reels, they're like, oh, fucking crowd work, right? They're like, oh, he only does crowd work, and I'm not the biggest fucking Matt Rife guy because fuckboy energy aside, that guy has put in his time. He has
Oh yeah,
put in
he
his
is.
work.
And he
He
was
was
ugly
doing,
before.
and even if he wasn't, dude, he was doing stand up at what, 16, 17?
Yeah, yeah. You
I
saw
was,
the stand up the stand up performance that he did dedicated to his grandpa, right?
I did not.
Oh, it's
That's
so
because
good. He did it in Austin, Texas. It was so fucking good.
people fucking, my, a lot of people say their biggest complaints with Matt Rife is he only does crowd work. Would you agree
Nah,
with that? Yes or no? hold on.
I would agree that that's people's biggest gripe on him.
Yes,
but he does a great show.
That is exactly what that is one of my biggest issues with comedy is I feel like a lot of people watch it through reels now. And I read a lot of the comments and they're like, oh, he only does crowd work. And it's because I wanted to do an episode on this, but I didn't have the writing down. People do crowd work because it's free and you can't replicate the set without fucking, they can't replicate the set. So it's, my bad. Crowd work gets distributed because it can't be replicated. So it's like free advertising. Right. And people are like, oh, it's the only thing they do. And it's the first thing that goes, oh, you only listen to comedy through reels. You don't actually go to shows. And you know what's crazy? My mom goes to more fucking comedy shows. My mom's seen Chappelle live, and I haven't. You know how insanely fucking jealous I was when my mom was like, yeah, we just went to Chappelle. And I was like, oh, it was at the Laugh Factory, which is, you said that earlier. And I was like, oh, that must be fucking nice.
Yeah, that's fucking tight. That's so tight.
And Matt Rife has been in comedy for like 12 or 13 years. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, just about that time.
Even more than 10 plus years. So if somebody was going to glow up because of fucking time and age, it was definitely him, regardless of how attractive he was.
No, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. All right, man.
And yeah, it was nice having you on, bro.
Have me on again, bro, because we have a whole nother section to talk about.
Hey, bro, I'll get another 12-pack, and this will be a good fucking episode.
I appreciate you, brother. Hey, man, thank you so much for having me on, bro. Honestly, thank you so much for your listeners for tuning in. Thank you so much, bro. I hope you guys stay healthy, stay happy, and keep smiling. I appreciate you, brother. Have me on again, all right?
Have a good night, man.
All right, brother. You too.